Okay.
No.
No, it's okay.
There,
It's
Minecraft too.
no, you don't like it. All right. So the Daniel Craig James Bond pentology, or how I learned to stop worrying and love the blonde. There was a big kerfuffle when Daniel Craig was first cast because he was blonde. He was going to be the first James Bond to ever be have a yellow colored hair, and that's not accurate to the books. It's not accurate to any of the previous movies. So everyone was like, what the heck? This is not okay. Also, he's enormous. Look at this guy. That's not the James Bond we know. He's like 2 inches shorter than all the other previous James Bonds. Who is this man, and why is he infiltrating our James Bond franchise? And yet, this is the most profitable the James Bond franchise has ever been. And I'm going to go, and a lot of it has to do with the story, and as well as the action and characters. And I'm going to get a bit into what has made this franchise so popular. So, started.
Did you just click it with the pen?
Yeah, it's Casino Royale, 2006. This is a complete restart of the franchise, unless you believe multi-bond theory. But we're going to, for a minute, assume that.
Oh, so all the movies would be.
This is exactly.
Okay.
So where I'm going to go ahead and assume, for the sake of conversation, that multi-bond theory does not exist, which hurts me.
Okay.
So,
Get rid of our biases.
this is where Daniel Craig Bond gets his 000 status that we saw earlier. He takes a mission, gets 2 kills under his belt, and he's assigned to infiltrate a clearly growing criminal organization that deals a lot with money. He's given this order by M, who is his supervisor, the head of all of MI6. She's the big boss. So it goes from extensive parkour in Africa to parkour into poker, loving to win, because parkour is from Africa into Valencia. Is it Valencia or was that Red Notice?
That was Red Notice.
It goes to another fabulous.
You could make
it goes
a
to several fabulous locations.
Madrid, perhaps?
Maybe, sure. And it is over the course he realizes how big this organization is, and he's trying to get to the money man. So he is assigned an accountant, Vesper Lind, who works for MI6, to assist him at this high stakes poker game, so that he can basically buy out the big money man and take all of his money, leaving him with all the loan sharks. Remember when he went to Africa? The guy, and he was like, "Oh, that's a lot of money," and he's like, "No, don't worry, it's going to be fine."
Oh, okay.
The warlord guy with it, and you were like teasing the inhaler. That guy, he was basically getting him to invest in him, that he would be able to arrange world situations like a big plane blowing up, and then all the stocks go down, and he makes millions off of the shorted stocks. So, and this guy is Le Chiffre. This is the big bad for this movie. He is a master poker player, but he is a little too risky with his money, and he keeps losing, which is why he's here at the Casino Royale. He's trying to make back all of his money so he can repay everyone. Here's where Bond also meets Felix Leiter, a CIA man who assists him when Bond loses all of his cash. Leiter gives him the extra dough so that he can stay in the game. This starts a friendship that is going to continue on. He's a carryover character from the previous films.
Oh.
So this is a cool guy. We like him. But Rashif, he owes a lot of people. Owes a lot of people money. I say he's the big bad. He's the big bad of this movie. Mm-hmm. He's just the tip of the iceberg, because as much of a cold-blooded killer as he is, there's people above him that are very scary, way scarier than he is. Okay. So when he loses all of his money, he ends up torturing Bond, and in a very difficult to watch sequence that does end in Le Chiffre's death. Bond gets the money. He and Vesper just take a vacation, taking their sweet time to get back to MI6. And then Bond finds that Vesper, the accountant, never gave the money back to MI6. She has stolen it. He chases her down it.
She stole it.
Dang it.
Diesel, come here.
Whenever you're trying to give a nice presentation, someone always interrupts. So it's up to Bond to.
He's a horrible hunter.
Bond now feels responsible for her death. He feels betrayed.
Wait, she died?
she does die. And
She's the one who stole the money.
She has stolen the money, and because she's involved in something bigger, this big shadowy organization. They somehow got to her, and that is the group Quantum, which the chief was a part of. She's now somehow involved in it. It's a big growing conspiracy, and Bond is basically going to go a little rogue in order to try to figure out who this is. Hit pause on it. I'm gonna zoom. So yeah, fighting, killing, attacking Mr. White. Oh my gosh. I hit the volume button and it started skipping through.
Oh man.
So this movie is a pile of trash. And unfortunately, it really wants
Was
to
that
be
performance art right there?
It was. And so is this poster. They didn't make this poster until they showed Olga Kurylenko and Daniel Craig the movie, and them walking out of the theater. They took a picture of it and threw it up on the poster. That's how bad this movie is. So it goes into Bond tracking down Quantum, who's behind it, and he basically thinks that he's taken it down, more or less has. So that entire arc is over and done with. I'm not going to get into it because the rest of the movies don't get into it. There's a side character that is kind of important to this movie and this movie, but he's dead, and that arc is resolved immediately. It's not worth it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm moving on. But basically, this starts a theme that we're going to see repeatedly in the Craig Bonds, that he kind of goes rogue. He breaks off of MI6 and goes and does his own thing for the greater good, as a personal vendetta to try to avenge Vesper Lind. Who knows? That's debatable, but yeah. So that's an overarching thing. But let's get to something good. Skyfall. Okay, you guys know
like the Adele song.
Exactly like the Adele song.
Same word.
Yes. This was 2011. I want to say it's 2011. So this is Bond sort of getting back into getting back into things. I have another video I want to show you, but it's like 10 minutes long.
Okay.
I didn't know if you guys.
Sure.
I mean, we have 2 hours.
I know. I just didn't want you guys to be like, wow, I've shown a lot of videos.
Show me a
I
video.
thought one of the issues is that I've only seen each. Outside of Casino Royale, I've only seen each movie once. So, and while they're very good, and I have a lot, and I remember a lot from them, I don't remember everything. Like that the interesting is 15 minutes instead of a tighter 10. So, anyways, Bond is sent on a mission to hunt down Raul Silva, who is a former 00. While Bond is, dang, I got ahead of myself. This is why I set up the video, so that I could show that Bond. Hang on a sec.
No, take your time.
Bond gets shot off a train by Moneypenny in a crossfire. Is this actually interesting, anyone? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Bond gets shot off a train in crossfire by Moneypenny, being directed by M. So, feeling betrayed and severely wounded, Bond takes a hiatus for a few months, goes AWOL, and they have to practically drag him back into service. And his marksmanship is shot. His negotiation skill isn't great. He has some trauma. The guy is having some issues over the last 8 years of being a 00. But he's thrown right back into the fire and having to deal with a former 00. This guy is able to get inside Bond's head, Raul Silva, because he knows what it's like to be a 00 and the pressures that come with it and the stresses. And but he has one goal, and that's to get to M, who betrayed him. He feels that he was left alone without support, and when he bit down on a cyanide pill, it didn't work. It messed up his face. He needs a special mouth guard to actually keep it in place. So he has a lot of hatred, and he's been building up his own little empire just so that he can go after M. He eventually does. He hunts Bond down to Bond's childhood home. So it's just Bond and M. I believe Q is there or another woman, and they have to stage a Home Alone style attack against the invading army. And they manage to survive for the most part, but M does succumb to her injuries. Raul Silva is also killed, but Bond again is the only survivor. And there is a new M in place now. One of her subordinates is promoted, so Bond has a new boss going ahead who is not new to the game, but he's not the same, and Bond is definitely not the same man that he used to be. Man, and the movies just keep going. Because that was supposed to be the last Craig movie. But then they made this one as well. Spectre, which you and I saw together with a few buddies. This is the rising climax. This is Bond meeting up with old enemies like Mr. White, who was the contact for Quantum, who reveals that there's more to Quantum than he knows. And there you may recognize some faces like Mr. Batista from Guardians of the Galaxy, who plays the strong man. Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. Spectre is an organization that was in charge of Quantum. Their symbol is an octopus. They have tentacles all over the world. They're basically the Illuminati for criminal organizations. Everyone that Bond has encountered who's a criminal, and in some cases people who are good people, have encountered or are under the control in some way of Spectre. This is the big bad. This is who Bond has been trying to chase the whole time. In the end, the reason Vesper died, the reason Quantum of Solace is so bad, the reason Raul Silva had the money to go after and successfully kill M, it's all because of Spectre. And they even have a member of MI6 infiltrated. This guy is a villain who works for the head guy of Spectre. That's Mr. Blofeld. Ernst Stavro Blofeld is a familiar face to James Bond. They were actually childhood friends way, way, way long ago, and then he faked his death, rose to power in the criminal underworld, and is now basically the M of evil. He's the king of crime, and it is up to Bond. And he has a bit of a vendetta out for Bond, but in the end, he does not care that much. He's out to effectively rule the world, and Bond is just someone who keeps getting in his way. So he is willing to take some time out of his day to try to make sure that he's put down for good. That does not successfully happen. Bond is able to take Blofeld down, but he does not kill him. For the first time, Bond does not exterminate one of his enemies. He leaves him alive. He brings him into custody, and we are going to see Blofeld return in this movie. In what aspect, I'm not entirely sure. He also has a counterpart, Miss Madeline Swan, who is the daughter of Mr. White. She's familiar with the criminal underworld. She is kind of used to Bond and how he's difficult with people, and we see their relationship grow over the course of the movie, and we're going to see a lot more of their relationship in No Time to Die. It seems like everything's been building up to this one. We know it's the last of the Daniel Craig movies, but we don't know in what respect. If he is where he's going to go from here, and what stories are going to be told. That's everything.
Very nice.
Woo!
Good job, honey.